When you think of a vampire, you might picture an elegant, immortal aristocrat draped in a velvet cloak. But what if I told you that the true vampires of history had no grand castles and no tragic romance? Instead, they were born from endless despair, rotting flesh, and the shadow of death that swept across Europe. Welcome to the depths of the library. Today, we turn to the darkest page in history. In the 14th century, the Black Death claimed nearly a third of Europe's population. Faced with mountains of corpses, people were forced to bury their loved ones in haste. But medical science, at the time, could not identify a condition known as catalepsy. Many severely ill patients simply fell into a deep coma with a pulse so faint it was undetectable, and were pronounced dead. Imagine waking from a fever dream, only to find yourself nailed inside a narrow, pitch-black wooden box. When graves were later reopened, the desperate scratch marks on the wood and the contorted limbs led to only one terrifying conclusion: the dead had awakened. Fear breeds mythology. When paranoid villagers exhumed the bodies of the dead, nature played a cruel trick on them. They saw monsters with elongated fangs, overgrown nails, and fresh blood seeping from their lips. Yet this was not dark magic. It was the natural process of decomposition. As the skin dehydrated and shrank, teeth and nails appeared to grow. Gases expanded within the corpse, making emaciated plague victims look flushed and bloated as if they had just fed, forcing dark, bloody fluids from their lungs up through their mouths. In German folklore, this creature was known as the Nachzehrer, or the shroud-eater. The extreme contagiousness of the plague meant entire families died in rapid succession. When graves were opened, people found the first victim's jaw had dropped from muscle relaxation, and the corrosive fluids of decay had dissolved the burial shroud over their face. It looked as though the corpse was chewing its own shroud in the grave, devouring the life force of its surviving relatives from afar. To stop the plague, medieval people performed macabre rituals. In 2006, within a plague mass grave in Venice, archaeologists discovered a woman's skull with a large stone brick forced violently into her jaw. This was how they killed a vampire. The vampire, a captivating figure in modern pop culture, was born from humanity's most helpless cries in the face of an unknown contagion. When science could not explain death, people invented monsters, because a physical beast that could be staked through the heart or silenced with a brick was far more comforting than an invisible, untouchable plague. Fear, ultimately, is the most fertile soil for dark mythology.